Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Jojo Palacio, and on this channel, we talk about all things beauty. Today, we are here to talk about sexy eyes and bold lips. Yes, I said it. It is springtime, and I feel like every spring I go towards a pop of color on the lips and keep the skin just radiant and natural and beautiful. We did something a little sexy and just very va-va-voom with the eyes. Just in the lashes, we kept it pretty neutral up there, and then we did this pop of color. The skin is radiant and glowy, and we're gonna show you how to get this bold and sexy eye look, as well as a pop of color on the lips. But before I get there, I just wanted to share a little inspirational moment with you guys. I love doing this during my videos because I know that you guys look forward to it, and it's just a little light in your week or your day. As I was getting ready today, I just kind of was thinking about sometimes you feel not enough or not worthy. Like, I did this look already. I went out with my girlfriends on Saturday and I filmed a look, and I honestly didn't like the way that it came out. I didn't feel like it was good enough. And then when I went to edit it, I sat down and I noticed that my batteries on the microphone had died. So there was zero volume, zero sound on it, which happened to be perfect because it just kind of gave me the push that I needed to refilm this video. But then it also, I don't know, I just felt like that conversation got guided by the Holy Spirit to think of in areas in my personal life where I feel like I lack or I'm not worthy or good enough. But then I was also reminded by the Holy Spirit that no one is ever good enough. If you look at the Bible in the Old Testament, in order to be a pleasant, welcoming sacrifice, there was this list of criteria that you had to meet. It had to be a certain age, a certain type, no mistakes, no birthmarks, or, you know, it just had to meet certain criteria. And I think that a lot of the times the weight of the world makes us feel that way, that if we don't meet the mark, that if we don't meet someone else's standards, we're not good enough for the job or the opportunity or the relationship or even happiness. And I just want to remind you that no one is ever going to be good enough. That's why Jesus came down to earth, sacrificed himself, died on a cross so that you and I didn't have to be good enough. We just had to want to be with him, and we had to just want the desire. All that God wants from us is us to be willing to love him and serve him, and everything else gets added in return. That's it. Put God first. Everything else is given to you. And so I just want to remind you of that this week, regardless of what it is you're working towards. Even if you're feeling like you're not good enough and that's why you're not getting the job, or your efforts aren't good enough and that's why you're not getting it. First of all, it's all God's timing. And secondly, you are good enough. Jesus made sure that you were good enough. He tore that veil, he tore that lie to pieces so that you and I could have a life that is lived to our fullest potential and purpose in God. So now that I've gotten that over with, let's get started on this tutorial. Before we do, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The button's below. I post every Wednesday and Sunday, every single week, content related to all things beauty, as well as look me up on Instagram. It's Jojo_Palacio, where we do a lot more chit-chatting, behind the scene moments, as well as you get to follow up on these looks and just follow me through life, you know? All right, so welcome back to my channel, guys. Let's get started on this eye look right here. We're gonna start off with our P. Louise eye base, and I already have a piece of tape just placed over. This just helps me really keep focus on where I am applying the shadows, so it's not as stressful. You can also use something with the sharp edge. I frequently use my eye primer to help me just kind of sketch out, but this is just really something super simple, super easy to do, where you don't have to stress out the entire time you're doing your eye. So next we're going to start off with our eyeshadow look. We're going for a sexy eye and a bold lip today. And so for sexy eyes, I like a nice full lash and just a lifted eye look, which for me can either be done with concealer or it can be done with liner. I didn't want to do something super dark like a black, so I did brown. For this look, we're going to use our little bite-sized eyeshadow from e.l.f. This is a pumpkin spice, and we're going to take this shade right here, which is the matte brown. I'm picking this up on a nice buffing, dense, packing type of brush. It's gonna really help me build this color up. And so what I like to do is start off with the wing. We're gonna just take this up, and almost towards the over top of the tape or whatever you're using your sticker. e.l.f. has some really nice shadow tape that's very sensitive. This is meant for skin, so keep that in mind. The clear, transparent tape isn't really as gentle on the skin, so be careful. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this in all the way from the inner corner and up, and I want to build right now. So we're building, we're not going to really focus on blending. I want to build, and then again, we're always going to refer back to the other side. The cool thing about this bold look is how easy and simple it is, and how it's just super simple. So once we've got to about right there, what I'm gonna do is take a brown liquid liner. Today I'm actually using my Anastasia brow pen in the shade medium brown. I don't own a brown liquid liner. Now I know that I need one based off of how much I use this for this purpose. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wing this out starting in the center. And you wanna lay this felt tip pen flat, guys, and pull and sketch. All right, so that's a very thin line, and that's the way that I want it. You kind of want to match it up to the other side always. And then once that is on, what I did was take back that same shadow that we just used, the brush, and we're just going to run that all through it to really just blend that in. Corner and the lid. And so now that we've got pretty intense color going on, we're gonna go into the other matte shadow of this palette, and a nice fluffy brush. The larger the brush, the larger the area you're trying to cover, and I'm really just trying to lift this area up out here and kind of go into the crease a little bit with this color. It's gonna be a pretty transition, but it's gonna be a very soft, barely there transition. Pretty. And then once we feel like we're there and we're done with this, what I like to do is go back into that first powder, which is almost like an ivory bone toned. If you have a shadow that's this color, that's perfect. And I'm gonna just re-emphasize this inner lid corner so that it's nice and bright. Coat of mascara. Today we're using the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. Lily lashes in the style Mykonos, which have to be my favorite boom volume type of lash right now, and I am going to curl them first. And so what I like to do is just put the strip part of it into the lash curler very carefully, and then we curl. All right, so let's get started on the complexion. I've removed the tape, and this is what we've got going on so far. I love the way that these looks start and then the way that they turn out, because I know that it looks so bare and so simple, but once you've got the complexion on and you've got the lips on, it just brings everything all together. The one thing we have to remember about doing bold lips is that we have to choose which part of our face we're trying to make bold. Whether it's the lips or the eyes, one thing has to be the focus. So let's get started on complexion. So for primer today, we are doing this primer combination here. So we have the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have it in the shade medium 4. And then I'm also taking this Dior Backstage primer. This is a universal, so there's just one. I like the Dior Backstage in the center of my face. This is very good neutralizer, smoothing. And then I've got some dryness and a little bit of dullness going on in the outer perimeter of my face, which is why I love this Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury, because this filter, even though it's medium 4, you could totally go up some shades depending on your skin tone, but it leaves your skin with that radiant, glowy type of finish, regardless of the foundation that you put on top. So I love this. For foundation today, we are using one of my favorite foundations. It is the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation. My tan shade is Stromboli, so I'm gonna take about 3 pumps of this to get me a nice full coverage, and we are gonna buff this in using a nice dense foundation brush. This guy is the JH03 by Morphe and Jaclyn Hill, their collection, and we're gonna just buff this foundation into the skin. All right, so if I have learned anything so far, especially now this year that I am about to turn 30, is that you want to place product only where you need it. So you'll notice that there's still a little bit of discoloration or color difference in my forehead, under my eyes, sometimes around my nose and my chin area, because I'm going to use other products for those areas. However, right now, let's contour and bronze our complexion. So for contour, I like to take the Fenty Beauty Match Stix in Mocha. This is an absolutely perfect formula for a contouring stick. I love this so much. I'm really big on using things like foundations and concealers instead of contour sticks because of the formulation, but that one I really like. And so talking about foundations and concealers, to bronze up my face and kind of give myself a little bit of warmth, I'm going to use this Milk Makeup Flex Foundation Stick in the shade Medium Tan. So the combination of these two, one is a little, you see that there's a little more gray tone in the Fenty, and there's a little more warmthness to this foundation stick. I want to just give that combination. I love combining those two type of undertones because it gives me structure, but it doesn't make me look ashy or dirty. And the foundation in the formulation in the Flex Foundation Stick, I love. If you are someone who is older or dry and you're looking for something quick and easy that's got good coverage and good ingredients, that foundation stick is absolutely stunning. Not really being super specific or careful because I am going to follow that up and clean it up with some concealer. So we're just going to trace that out for now. Talking about concealer, we're going to do a concealer combination that I have been loving recently. And so I like to conceal and brighten with concealers. In order to do that, you use two different shades. So my first shade is a concealing shade, which usually is the same color, if not one step lighter than my foundation or complexion. And I like to place that right in the very inner corner, in between my brows where I have redness. Anywhere where you have any discoloration, hyperpigmentation, scarring, blemish, that's where you're gonna use your concealing shade. I'm gonna blend this out using my Morphe sponge. And I like to leave the areas that are directly under the eyes for last so that they kind of start to dry and set. It just helps intensify the coverage. And so this area where I just placed the concealer, I like to refer to it as the smaller triangle. That is the area I like to do almost every day just to kind of keep myself looking put together. In a few minutes, I'll show you where I place my brightening concealer to help lift the face. So if you like to conceal and just kind of look put together, this is where you stop and you set with powder, and then you can move on to the rest of the video. However, if you want to highlight your face and bring it forward and you're curious, you're like, what is highlighting? What is contouring? Highlighting is where you use a brightening color in concealer to bring forward certain areas of your face. So I'm going to start with one side and just do that and show you. So I like to put a little bit of concealer right underneath of the eyelid, almost underneath of my liner to continue to lift up. In the very inner corner as well, we're going to do a little bit in this area here. And let's just do the under eye first, and then we'll do everything else. So this under eye area, again, we're going to leave for last. I'm just going to work this up on the nose. And then what I like to do with this section is just buff and push this into the skin very gently. I like the sponge because it almost mimics your fingertip. And then I'm going to drag that in instead of dragging it out. So we'll start up here. And then I'm going to actually work this up the nose to continue to highlight and color correct. Do you guys see the difference in color as from this being lifted all the way up to this side? There's just a dimension change. It's brighter in here. It's just highlighting certain areas. It's drawing your attention to those areas. Do we do the same thing on the other side? What do you guys think so far? Comment down below and tell me if that's easily explained, if you do it a different way. I would love to know what everyone is trying as far as their technique goes, but this is what worked for me the best so far. So we're gonna continue to set our under eye area. And to do that, what I'm gonna do is just make sure that we are not settling any lines. We're just gonna press under there. The only place I want powder today is literally under my eyes. I want to keep the complexion very glowy, very radiant and sexy. And we're going to press this Studio Fix directly under our eyes. Awesome. We're still going to put a little bit of loose powder underneath of the eyes. I'm going to take my Hourglass Mineral Veil powder. This is a gorgeous powder that is mineral based, so it's not going to be super mattifying. This is one that I like to recommend to clients who are older, drier, and don't really want to take the shine away. They just want to set. Again, just to make sure that we are allowing the skin to look glowy and radiant, we want to set, but we don't want to mattify, okay? What's next? Let's finish off the under eye. For the under eye, we're gonna do that combination of the two mattes from this cute little bite-sized eyeshadow from e.l.f. and we are going to use a nice blending brush. I want to work on it a little at a time. Light pressure. Always, always, always connecting the lower lash line to the top. Very subtle, but what I do want to do is very tightly close to the lash line with a smudging brush. With a nice tight smudging brush, I'm going to just dip that into the brown and keep it very tight to this outer corner and connect. You see that? I love that. All right, so let's get some mascara in the lower lash line, and I want to do a little bit of a beige liner there as well. We're looking bold and sexy, but I don't want it super dark. My go-to beige liner is this BH Cosmetics Power Pencil in the shade beige. Little boo-boo there, we're gonna fix in a second. You're just gonna let it dry, and we're just gonna brush it off with a spoolie. So don't stress it, baby, you got this. What are we doing? We are doing the rest of the complexion. So I wanna further contour just a little bit on the cheekbones. To do that, we're gonna take our KVD Beauty Shade and Light palette. I'm gonna take the two darkest tones and just really work them into the skin. Right up here. I'm gonna close off the forehead just a little bit by just working it into the temples. And again, the hairline. All right, to warm up and bronze a little more, just because we could never be too bronze, especially when you're wearing a bold lip, I'm gonna use the center shade, which is like the warmest, most bronzy shade in this palette, and we're just going to reinforce everywhere we put our cream sticks. Now, before I do my lips, highlight, and blush, I like to just drench my skin in the setting spray. This is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I am getting ready to run some errands, and let me tell you what, when it comes to wearing a mask and a good setting spray to help from transferring, that by far has been the best. And I've tried quite a few, both high-end and drugstore, and so far nothing has changed my mind. So we're gonna let that soak up. I'm gonna push it in once it's kind of starts drying, but in the meantime, I'm going to do my brows. We are using the Instant Lift Brow Pencil by e.l.f. I'm gonna skip through this part and be back when I'm ready to do the blush, highlight, and lip. All right, guys, we are back with brows on. I'm feeling the feathered soft brow just to keep things very focused on the lips. We're gonna use this Fenty Mean Money and Hustler Baby Kilowatt highlight combo. It's just a very icy yet warm blush highlight to just really help this amazing, creamy, glowy, radiant skin. Oh my gosh, I love that. Also, that technique of doing the setting spray before this really helps to prep the skin to really give you the maximum glow possible. So we're gonna do a very, very simple looking blush. We're using more of my NYX Sweet Cheeks mattes in the shade Summer Breeze. Again, placing that high up in the cheekbone just to help further lift and raise and not round out my face. Boom. And then next we're gonna do lips. So for lip combo today, I have this lip from MAC. The lip pencil is called Red, and the lipstick is called Lady Danger, which is like a soft matte type of formula. So let me get my lips on, my hair did, and then I will be back to talk about this combination with you guys. All right, guys, so I am back with the finished look. This is our pop of color today. The cool thing about this look is that you could switch this out for pink or for a dark red instead of this bold, almost bluish orangish tone. You could do more orange, you could do coral, you can do absolutely any lip color that you wanted to with this look because of how neutral it is, and yet sexy, bold. I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed with it. I hope that you guys liked it too. Again, this lip combination is from MAC. They actually do this cool thing where they sell the lip combo together, so there's no guessing for you. It's just super easy. So I hope that you guys liked this look. If you did, hit the thumbs up for me. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post every Wednesday and every single Sunday, every single week. And look me up on Instagram. It's Jojo_Palacio, where we talk about all things beauty. So like always, guys, love you, bless you, and I will see you guys next time.